Hi, today I'm going to show you how to install a fuser sleeve on an HP LaserJet 4250, a 4300, or a 4350. This is really a pretty simple repair that can really save you just a ton of money. What we're going to be replacing is the sleeve. There's a lot of variety of these sleeves on the market, and we sell a very quality sleeve. Remember, HP does not sell internal parts to these fusers. They of course always want you to replace the whole fuser purchased through them. So these aftermarket parts that we put inside here, the industry has relied on third-party companies, so of course quality is everything. This procedure, I like to use a number 2 Phillips with a good tip, magnetized, and also a very small flat blade or even a pick tool. Let's get started. I like to work with a fuser just like this, and there's 2 screws, one here and here. Let's remove those. Remember, on the way through these procedures, there's a lot of different methods of doing this, and I try to pick and choose a method that's going to be, the most easiest for you without getting too in-depth, and then of course I'm always trying to keep the videos a little short. At this point in time, we remove the 2 screws. This front is going to hinge open, but before we can do that, we want to remove 1 screw on a little black plastic paper guide, because what happens is we can't hinge the front of this fuser open. Push it to the left and it comes right off. Nice and easy. And then there's also a red wiring harness with 1 black self-driving screw. We're also going to remove that. So as we're doing these different procedures that you might be watching, keep in mind we're not going through big procedures and complete teardowns. I'm just showing you the basic to get the job done. At this point in time, we want this lid to hinge open. In order to do so, there's just 1 clip on the gear side that has to be pressed back, and you can see that my front just opened right up. And then just kind of slowly wiggle it, and it'll drop right out of its position. Okay, you might see a couple springs right now, or 1 that just fell off. There's 1 on each side. They have a hole. And just set this to the side for right now. Okay, now we're starting to see the fuser sleeve. It's exposed. On this model, HP chose to use a metallic sleeve with a Teflon coating. We want to remove the main drive gear. I'm using a very small pick tool, and I'm just going to press into it. And what I'm doing is I'm actually bringing the clip back a little bit, and I'm going to pull this gear off. This is a 2-part gear that actually has an inside to it with a couple springs. You could toothbrush this gear off and clean it up, or even replace it if you chose to. And we're going to put that to the side. Now, right now what we want to do is on the gear side, we want to get underneath this wiring harness and lift it up. And we want to unplug it, just like that, and then feed the wires through the harness. Okay, I chose not to go with this side and take it off. There is a plastic plate here. It's a wiring harness plate. It's held in with just a couple clips. These break real easy if you're not experienced with them. And then what you have is you have this whole plastic area that's just kind of hanging there. And I didn't feel it was going to be a good method to approach this. So I'm going to just, again, keep in mind, we're going to leave this side on, but we are going to want to pick this up just a little bit. And as we pull off this side, now the side with the exposed wiring harness, we're going to just lift it up by lifting up the other side a little bit, and we can unplug this wiring harness. Simply just squeeze it and pull it out. Now there's also a little white clip that keeps the collar on the sleeve, and it's right here. We want to be really careful right now at this point to not hurt the sleeve, or the element that actually heats up. There's the white clip. I just simply pressed it back and it'll fall right off. Now the sleeve itself, the collar will come off. You can see that. Now I can actually slide the sleeve off, but before I do that, I just want to kind of show you something. On your replacement sleeve that you purchase, one side will have a bigger contact point than the opposing side. On the larger contact side, that side is going to go where the red wire is. These are actually grounding contacts for the sleeve, so they are kind of a directional item. You do want to follow that. Right now, we can actually just kind of, again, lift up on the opposing side, slide your damaged sleeve off, and you can see this one has a real extreme buildup right in the center, and this is, again, common for the Teflon. The Teflon's worn, print defects were happening, the toner cartridge didn't take care of it, and this is a perfect candidate for just re-sleeving the fuser and getting you back on your way. So right now at this point, what I like to do is we're going to use a lubricant agent on the element, and I actually have an element here, which I was going to show, and it's actually a ceramic glass that's on the bottom of this that we're going to lubricate, and we want to really get that lubrication in there. And when you purchase one of our sleeves, we provide this lubrication. The lubrication is the key to this repair. So many of our customers that have purchased these fusers from other companies have just experienced such bad results, not because of the quality of the sleeve that they have purchased, but the quality of the lubricant that they use. The lubricant, we provide a little bit of this with our sleeves. This stuff is extremely pricey. It's about $150 for just a very small amount of it. Now what I like to do is, again, I'm using a glove, and I put some lubricant right on the end of it. And if you don't have a glove, we don't provide these. You can use a sandwich baggie or some saran wrap, and again, you just don't want to get it on you. Now, some of the guys have used, a petroleum product out in the industry, and that doesn't work. You want to stay clear of some of these witch blend lubricants that are out there. Now, what I'm doing is, I'll show you a little example on this one, is I'm actually just getting this lubricant nice and good all over this element, real heavy. And you want to do this and just build it up real nice and well. You don't, not too much worried about the other side of it up here, but we want to get it all across this glass. So at this point in time, we have sufficient amount of lubricant, and we're just going to go ahead and reinstall the sleeve. I like to just pick it up carefully. We don't want to damage the new one, or of course, scratch it. So just give yourself some room and just slide it in nice and easy and get it over the opposing collar. Okay, now we can install the other, the bushing or the collar on this side, and it simply just slides right into place. And you want to push it in all the way. You don't want to fight anything right now. You just want it to go right in its socket. And we're going to reinstall the little white clip and just put it right down at the bottom. And take your time with this. Sometimes things fall or they break. Or I'm sorry, you don't want them to break. You just want to just take your time. Now that one just clipped nice and easy into place. And now we want to drop the assembly back into its socket and reattach the black plug. Simply lift up again. There we go. Now you can see it. It's nice and easy. It's back in its socket. Now we can retract these wires back into their wiring harness. Again, I tried to stay clear of that other side rather than giving an approach on this to tear down the whole fusing assembly. And when we redo these, we do try to get in depth with the fuser, and more so than what you're seeing right now. Okay, so the wiring harness is in nice and well, and we can reinstall the gear. The gear again has a little cutout on it, and it will only go on the shaft in one way. And pull back on it, make sure it's locked into its socket. Now we can reinstall the cover plate. Again, remember, these springs, they might fall out at you, no big deal. And start off with the little grooves in the middle at the bottom, and simply just put it back into its socket, trying to keep that little red wire out of your way. And you're just going to push it forward, and you'll notice there's a couple little nipples on black part of those collars on the one that we took off, one on each side. At this point in time, you may have to hold the fuser and press down real hard. Okay, this clip locked it back into place, which is good. But you know, sometimes these clips, they don't lock into place, and you actually have to hold it down with your hand while you're working with a screwdriver to reinstall the 2 screws on the top. So you can see this is a real easy repair on a fuser that's quite expensive. So we got one screw in. Let's put the opposing screw in. And again, I try to work just like you. I don't try to manipulate the video. It is what it is, and so sometimes you'll see me struggle. Let's put in the red wiring harness. Again, this is a grounding contact. That was part of that side of the fuser sleeve that had that larger cutout in it for that contact point. It's just like a little brush, wire brush that kind of hits it. Okay, let's reinstall the little black plate. Again, real simple. Hole lines up. Now, if your fuser suffers from an error, like a 50-point error, the sleeve's not going to correct it. This is just a repair to correct the common print quality problems. So now you can turn the fuser by hand, making sure that sleeve really spins nice and free. Again, the key here is the quality lubricant that we use with these fusers. It really is. So at this point in time, you would reinstall it back in your printer and run some prints, see how it does. And if just by accident you happen to get it like a fuser error, remove the fuser and just check your contacts. Make sure all the plugs are plugged in real good on both sides, just in case. And also, when we were working with this element, you really want to make sure you're not getting aggressive with it, because this porcelain will crack so quickly, and if it cracks, you're definitely in a position at that point in time where you're going to have to purchase a new fuser. So I hope this was helpful for you today on a repair that really is simple, requires just a couple tools, and it can save you a bunch of money. We sell these sleeves with the lubricant for under $50, and what a great repair. Thanks again.